For many months now, the Strategic Communications Committee has been hard at work trying to ensure the clarity and effectiveness of our communication with our congregation and with the broader community, which is more important now than ever. One of those efforts has been the creation of a tagline. I wrote about this recently in one of my midweek meetups, but I want to make sure that everyone hears this. Sometimes people confuse a tagline for a mission statement. A mission statement is an expression of a shared goal. It's what we believe our purpose is as a congregation. A tagline is different. A tagline is a short, pithy, and memorable expression that summarizes our mission statement and is also useful for telling our story. A tagline accompanies our name on our website, on our official letterhead, on social media, and anywhere else that our name is known. The Strategic Communications Committee went through various iterations of a tagline before settling on one, and recently the session adopted this tagline: embracing and sharing Christ's love. Let me explain the message behind this tagline. Jesus said that the most important things God asks us to do are to love God and to love our neighbors as ourselves. Everything we do as a community of faith, from interpreting scripture to the way we organize ourselves as a community, should be viewed through this lens of love for God and love for one another. And that's why First Presbyterian Church is about embracing and sharing Christ's love. When you think about an embrace, it's something that should involve two people. It's about allowing yourself to be embraced while at the same time embracing the one who embraces you. Just think about how awkward a hug would be if only one person was actively engaging in it. We believe that God desires to embrace us, and indeed does embrace us. God's love of humanity is unconditional and without limit. And our purpose in life is to reciprocate God's embrace of us with our own embrace of God. And we do this at First Presbyterian in our worship. The purpose of worship is to celebrate and embrace God and God's love of us in Jesus Christ. This is the most important thing that we do as a community of faith. There's another important aspect of this embrace of God. All 8 billion people alive on the earth right now, as well as those who ever lived and those who ever will live, are made in God's image. In other words, whatever is in us that is good and kind and faithful and loving is the fingerprint of God in our lives. It is a reflection of God's own self. It is the evidence that we are indeed made in God's image. By embracing Christ's love, we are not only embracing that love as it is expressed directly to us from God, we are embracing that love as it is expressed to us from one another. And so we seek to treat one another with respect and humility and kindness and love because we see the image of God in each other and we desire to embrace it. And we do that at First Presbyterian through our prayer groups, our Bible study groups, Presbyterian women's circles, Sunday school, youth group, fellowship times, and other small group meetings. We are a community, which means we believe that everyone belongs together. And our embrace of Christ allows us to have unity despite our differences. It is a fundamental part of our faith to also share Christ's love. 1 John chapter 4, verse 19 says that we love because God first loved us. Once we become aware that we are recipients of Christ's love, we cannot keep it to ourselves. Every time we show mercy and compassion, we share Christ's love. Every time we serve those in need, we share Christ's love. every time we tell someone about their inherent value, we share Christ's love. And we do this at First Presbyterian Church through our caregiving groups, our missional efforts, and our evangelism. At First Presbyterian Church of Pittsford, embracing and sharing Christ's love is the way that we follow the teaching of Jesus to love God and to love one another.